Well, hello there, pipe pals and gals. It's old HolySmokeNPipePadre coming back at you. And in this edition of HolySmokeNPipePadre Moments, I'm smoking a Fern Down. See if that'll automatically focus there. Is it going to automatically focus? There we go. This beautiful Fern Down, rusticated, sandblasted Fern Down. And I'm smoking this in kind of honor of old James, Astroman. Was it 2021 or 2112? And then I'm smoking some wonderful dark twist. I smoked some of this with one of our YouTube friends on Skype this morning, and it's one of his favorites. And I saw that Jay, not too long ago, made a video with a new billiard pipe, smoking again some dark twist. There's a little technique I want to share with some of you. I haven't seen anybody talk about this before, and maybe it's maybe it's so lame and lazy people think, gosh, if you don't have anything better to talk about, you're just losing it, right? What do you do when you got your pipe there and you recognize, and it's not the pipe's fault, it's the pipe preparer's fault, that it's not drawing as smoothly as it should. And so you're kind of really having to work a little extra harder when you shouldn't have to work hard at all. A good pipe should just draw easy, effortlessly. There is a little trick that I learned a long time ago, and I haven't seen anybody talk about it. Maybe they have, and maybe I just missed the video. Pardon me when I put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing here. My eyesight's just getting bad. But what I like to do is I'd like to take my little Gita slum, a check tool. My brother used to call it a Gita slum. I don't know why. But and I take this little end here, and what I do is I just perforate the top. I just drive it straight on down, creating a little draft hole there. If your pipe seems to be drawing a little too tight, and usually that kind of takes care of it. So if you're sitting there, you go, boy, I packed it too tight, or it's like right now I'm using this McBaron's Dark Twist, which is a roll cake. And I didn't really rub it out as well as I probably should have. But again, that little perforation there seems to take care of it, and it works. So if you ever kind of feel frustrated and want to know how you can maybe get it to draw a little bit better, try that little perforation technique. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I didn't change my video settings before I started making this video, and I apologize to you on that. Fortunately, you can't really see the little interruption here, but there is a little interruption to my video, but you don't see it, and that's okay. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you. I've been watching Joffrey the Giant, and went out and got some new Burt's Bees wax so I can wax my mustache. Okay, so that's something to look forward to. Well, this video, I want to basically acknowledge, well, first I want to acknowledge a lot of kind people, again, who take time out to watch my little offerings from time to time. I do appreciate it. I've tried different ways of responding, and I'm way overdue on responding to many of you. I tried doing it through Windows Live. You know, again, I'm a Mac person, so although I can do Windows Live on my Mac, sometimes it had a lot of glitches. And then I tried responding directly to comments on the videos but then I wasn't actually responding to private messages. So then I started just doing the private messages through YouTube, and sometimes there's a response, and sometimes there isn't a response. So if you haven't got a response from me, I want to apologize. It's not that I don't want to respond, but sometimes it's like, well, the only option is that you just sent me a message, and it's nice, and it's like, well, so I don't know how you make it to where if you want me to respond to your message, I will be more than happy to. So I hope that doesn't offend anybody by sounding too lame, but I do like to respond to especially the really positive ones and people that seem to have some great little comments and saying, hey, have you thought about this? Or, I thought about this, and you seem to, kind of in the same channel that I'm at, and great. But what this gets me to are the two things I really want to talk about real quickly. A lot of us, we share our love of the briar, love of the tobacco, and sometimes we get a little personal. We kind of share with people a little bit. We kind of pull back the edge of the virtual envelope there and kind of reveal that it's a real person, not just some computer-generated image. And we have realized that, even though there's a virtual persona that makes these videos, and that's the person that you get to meet. Again, as Jay one time asked the question, is the real you the real you? Your YouTube self. I mean, if somebody met you in real life, would they say, "Oh, that's the same guy I see on YouTube"? And I would hope that people can say that mostly about yours truly. I don't think I try to put on any kind of airs other than being a cornball sometimes, just a real corny guy. But it leads me to just kind of mention in passing, and that's all I really want to do now, because I want to respect this other person's, certainly their privacy and their good name and everything. I have a lot of people that I've subscribed to over the year that I really truly enjoy their videos, and because of their love of the hobby, I've learned things from them. And so we've had a couple presenters. Obviously, one of them passed away recently. We all know who I'm talking about. Old Pipe Pops, just a wonderful gentleman. And, it's really, really missed. Old Northern Smoky Dan up there in Canada. We haven't seen or heard anything from him for a long time, and he was really, really sick. He'd had a stroke and everything, and he wasn't expected to be doing too good. But hopefully, Dan, if you're watching, we got you in our prayers, and as Jay would say, send you a lot of mojo, but you haven't been forgotten. East End Pipes. Ron out there in, I think, New Jersey or New York, made some wonderful pipe videos, but I haven't seen him around in a while. Speaking of New York, we had a little teaser video not too long ago from Asian Hombre. Miles, if you're watching, sure hope you're thinking about making a video soon. In Death We Trust, he was another guy I thought had an interesting presenter style and just a down-to-earth kind of person. I always enjoyed his videos. Sean, the wandering recluse, he kind of seemed to wander away a little bit there, so maybe he'll be back. And again, this isn't meant to be like a making guilt somebody into making a video. I'm not trying to do that. But I am saying that you do get there's a certain attachment, I guess you could say, a fondness for people, because you kind of get a little chance to get to know their virtual selves and their antics and their crazy things, or they're just a way of sharing things, Some people like Herminator, has a very relaxing video, very charming video, but he was just being himself, and it was almost like sitting there with him, smoking a pipe and listening to him talk about what was going on in his life. And I really enjoyed that. But anyway, one of our presenters, I guess, is having some issues and with their health, and I want to respect that. And I put up a video, he sent me a message saying he was back as, a new channel and everything, and I checked him out, subscribed, and thought, hey, guys, guess what? He's back, and then I find out a few hours later that that channel didn't quite pass muster or whatever, and for some personal reasons. And so, all we say is wish people well. Chris, I'm talking about you if you're watching. Wish you well, and again, this is not any ways to make you feel bad or like, gosh, but we do hope you're doing better, and someday we'll see you back here, when you're ready. But people have real lives, Jason Dagner was doing a video. In fact, that's kind of where this all comes from, because he just got out there and said, hey, look, the guy's got some things he has to take care of personally, and leave him alone. Don't be messing with him. Just let him go. Don't. In other words, just be respectful. And so then that's what I want to be. So if somebody felt that I was kind of like trying to prompt somebody into making videos and kind of make them feel bad about not making videos, well, I apologize for that, because that was never my intent. I was just excited to see him back. And sometimes we've had people who've deleted their accounts by accident. My mutton vlog did that about a year ago. But anyway, getting on here and presenting, I think, things that are relevant and interesting on an ongoing basis. It can be fun, but it can be challenging sometimes. So again, some of us we are a little bit more, I guess, open about who we are, and we share our personal struggles sometimes in appropriate ways. And I think that's interesting. I think it adds a depth to the person and gives you a chance to know that it's not just some quote-unquote virtual persona. It's a real person out there. And they have real lives. This is just a little snapshot, literally, of who we are in our real lives. They're, just obviously we just, we got families, or we've got jobs, and we've got other interests even, and sometimes we share those, and that's great. It's always nice to know that people who are into gardening or kilt making, aye lad. Cabretossen, right, the cabretossen. This is a mini caber. That's what I think this is now. Told you I was a cornball. So anyway, that's all I want to say about that. I'm going to be starting some. I just want to say that tomorrow is July 1, and to give you a basic Reader's Digest understanding, July 1 of last year was the beginning of probably one of the most stressful years in my life. I'm going to just say it that way. And a few of you know what I'm talking about, and a few of you might have picked up in a few of my videos that life wasn't always beer and Skittles in River City, But I just had a lot of just some real challenges. And they all started on July 1, believe it or not. I'm hoping that tomorrow, again, I have to choose to move on and do some things that are going to be edifying for me. And what I and I've thought about this a long time. And I've always wanted to do it, but I just don't know how to do it. And so one of the things that I've always, I'm kind of person, some people will think things out very methodically, and then they'll organize something, and then they'll work they'll plan something, and then they'll work their plan. And that's great. And I tend to be that way in some things, not all things. And if I feel like I don't have the right plan, then I'm less likely to start something, because I'm going to go, well, I'm probably going to just, it isn't going to work. And sometimes that's just what happens. You know, if you don't plan something correctly, you know, it may not work at all. But what I wanted to share with you all is I've always had this idea of doing what's called, this kind of comes out of the recent economic problems we've all been having in different countries, especially here in the U.S. too. People weren't really able to afford to go on really nice vacations, so they had coined a phrase called staycation. You know, in other words, you stay at home and camp out in the backyard, or you roast marshmallows over your stove or something and sing campfire songs. You know, not quite the same thing, but at least you're making an attempt to try to have some fun, and maybe it might be an interesting way of doing it. Well, in spiritual lives, we try to go on retreat once a year, and although we have a formal retreat, it's really more of a social networking thing, really. I think. I mean, certainly there's some good things that can happen. It's always nice seeing brother priests and kind of getting caught up and all that kind of good stuff. But for the most part, it's more social than spiritual. And over the last 4 or 5 years, I always thought, real people need, they can't go away to a monastery or a retreat house, And certainly, I can't go away. I'm the main man today because my boss is in wherever he's at on vacation. And so, what do you do when you really need to probably go on a retreat? What do you do? And so I started thinking, and I thought about this years ago, but I never had a chance to really, again, formalize and organize a plan, because I just have this great idea, but it's like, to really sit down and make it a reality, it's like, well, I need a really good, I need to really look at what would this entail? What would it be like? So tomorrow I want to start a personal, an in-place retreat. And I guess instead of saying, well, I really don't know what that is going to look like, and then saying, well, forget it, I'm going to try to take basic components of my life, my work life, my personal life, my spiritual life, and say, okay, I want to refocus certain things, just maybe little things. Now, one of those personal health things is I'm going to start my juice fast again, kind of to support Jay a little bit. And that's, I will be honest, I want to, I know Jay's going to try to do it again, and he did the 10-day, and, good for you, Jay. And again, I was inspired last year by a video called Sick, Fat, and Nearly Dead, the Joe Cross story. And again, you can find that online. But I was 270 pounds last summer, and I lost 35 pounds in 2 months. And I haven't gained it all back, but I need to go on it again. I need to get down. I want to try to get down under 200. So physically, I want to do that. And even though it's tough, I like doing it. Yeah, I found it to be a very refreshing and a very good thing. There was something really good that, again, it was kind of boring. If you saw Jay's videos or anybody that does juicing videos, there's that set of, well, because you're not really eating. And so you have to find ways to make it kind of creative. Now I'm going to tell you what I did last year, which didn't seem to hurt at all. And some people might say, well, technically you really weren't juicing. Well, I kind of still think I was. On Sundays, what I would do to try to just give myself something to look forward to, instead of making a juice, well, I would make a juice, but what I would do is I would either put like a marinara sauce in there. You know, there's no meat, it's just a chunky, maybe slightly chunky, and stir that into the, you know, juice that I made that night. And sometimes that was quite satisfying. You know, even though I wasn't eating, you know, a plate of spaghetti, there was a lot of that flavor there, so that was good. And then when I had fruit juices, I found some pureed fruit, and so I would take a couple of spoonfuls of that and stir that in there and just give it a little bit more body. So, you know, it kind of helped psychologically. And again, I lost 35 pounds, and I was excited about that. But I need to finish what I started last year. So that's one of the things I'm going to do for my physical self. And then spiritually, I got a couple of interesting books that people gave to me for my 20-year anniversary, and they're challenging books for me. And I think I really need. I mean, again, a good retreat is something that's going to challenge you, not just be, you know, like away from all your, you know, daily stressors and problems, but something that really engages you. And there's a couple of books, at least one, that was given to me, and I just think it's going to be extremely challenging for me to read it. And that's okay. Maybe I really need to be challenged right now. Also, on a retreat, you kind of, it's almost like, well, it's like Lent in some ways. You give something up. So I'm not going to say I'm going to give up YouTube. Maybe I will. I don't know. So if you don't see me for a month or so, it's just because I'm on this kind of retreat. Self-directed, stay retreat, stay in place retreat. But probably what I might do is just forego some of my other entertainment things that I enjoy. You know, I'm a big movie buff. Love the old movies. The white movies are just glorious. But I probably might, you know, in lieu of that, either listen to music or some other spiritual books on tape, and kind of refocus. Because sometimes, because I'm a real image person, and a friend of mine spoke about this, which is very fascinating. When you're reading a book, or even hearing a book read to you, you become the director, the set director, the scene person. I mean, you set everything in your own image. You use your own resources to create the scene. And that's a very good exercise. And if you're always watching, you know, kind of like a home-baked movie, then somebody else has done all that work for you, and you just sit back and take it in, instead of kind of engaging the imagery that's already, you know, in your native software there, those native programs. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. And the only reason why I'm saying all this is because if I don't do something, then all I do is stay where I was at, and I don't want to stay where I'm at. I want to move on. I want to take the next step, and again, maybe tomorrow will be the beginning of a new year. Now, I know it's not New Year's, but again, last July 1, just a lot of really stressful things happened, and some, you know, very challenging things. So I guess the reason why I'm making this video is in some ways kind of a little bit of an accountability thing. And just trying to say, you know, it's okay to try. You know, if you're waiting for something to happen, you know, if you're waiting for that great break, that great job break, or that special relationship that's going to show up, or you're waiting for whatever to manifest itself, sometimes it never does. You've got to kind of go out and meet that special situation that's going to maybe be life-changing. It just doesn't. I know sometimes, sure, sometimes things do happen. There's a wonderful serendipity in life, and something's very fortuitous, and wow, this just happened at the right time. The planets line up, whatever. But 9 times out of 10, it's making a choice to do something. Even if you fall flat on your face, you tried something. That video on the juice fasting, the guy said, hey, if you just do 10 days, well, good for you. At least you tried the 10-day juice fast, good for you. So you didn't make a month, you didn't make 2 months, okay? And so maybe you didn't lose all the weight you originally, but you're going to lose something. You're going to make it an incremental change in your life. And because if you don't try it, you're just going to be where you're at, So I'm kind of excited that tomorrow is July 1, and I'm looking forward to making some simple yet significant changes again in my life. And based upon my past, I know that if I make a choice to do something good and just have a little bit of a commitment, chances are, things will get better. So I hope you got something out of that. And so until next time, you all take care of yourselves. And remember, you have the power to light up your world. Light up your pipe, light up your world. So, until then, pipe pals and gals, see you later.